Welcome back, everyone, here to Full Circle, Florida. Joining me right now, ABC News Political Director Rick Klein. Rick, your colleagues at ABC News and the Washington Post, they did some polling, and it shows that Biden's numbers have not moved that much post-debate. Any insight on why that is? Because you would think from the reaction that we've been seeing play out this week that Biden is cratering.
Yeah, I mean, look, he is cratering in the sense of perceptions that 85% of the country thinks he's too old to run for another term, that 2/3 of voters overall think he should step aside. But a lot of people don't like Donald Trump either. And this is two very unpopular candidates. People are going to hold their nose and vote for one of them or not vote for either of them. And right now it's just a 1-point race with Trump up. It was a 2-point race with Trump up about a month ago. So things really haven't moved despite everything that's happened in the last 2 weeks, all the new questions that have been raised. You haven't seen the floor fall out. You haven't seen Biden move up, though, either. Fact is, he was losing the race in most of the polling 2 weeks ago. He continues to trail Trump by a significant margin in some of the battleground states, even if the national poll is basically knotted.
A dead heat. So why is the Democratic Party in full meltdown mode? I mean, the president has made it clear he's running, and yet people like Nancy Pelosi and other senators and members of Congress keep suggesting that there's some sort of exit ramp on this highway, but the president is driving the car and only he can get off the road, right?
Yeah, and what they're saying is that, make a decision, but he's made a decision. They don't like what that decision is. And that's what's kind of led to this odd moment where you continue to have Democrats, including former Speaker Pelosi, say, we know that he's taking it seriously. We know the conversations are real. We know that they're continuing. I don't know what ends it exactly. The president has to go out there and prove the doubters wrong over and over again. But I think the problem is that debate was so bad and so evident to the public out there that you're asking people not to believe the evidence that was right in front of them. That's very difficult. And a lot of members of Congress who are in close districts and the like just have to worry about that and wonder about that.
So, Rick, is there any real hard, tangible information on a detailed plan for the Democrats to replace President Biden? Who would that be? What would that look like? Or is this really just a bunch of random people piling on, a lot of noise, no detail, and basically what appears to be chaos at the DNC, and the meter's running 113 days and counting till election night in November?
Yeah, and only about 6 weeks until that convention votes to formalize a nomination. And look, you can play the fantasy political game however you want. The fact is there are 4,000 delegates or so who are going to convene in Chicago and choose the nominee. So anything you do in terms of having a big meeting or anything, debates or something like that around the country, all comes back to that, all comes back to those delegates. I don't see a way practically that Kamala Harris isn't the nominee if she wants the nomination, but that's going to be for those Democrats to decide.
Yeah, at some point, you got to make up your mind and go to war with the army that you have. Rick Klein joining us from New York. Rick, thank you very much. Next on Full Circle Florida, the former CIA operative who's now on the front lines in the fight against human trafficking.